felt you're training or you are playing a sport or going in a mid-run, that slight niggle, and then it stops you from doing it all the time, and then you keep going back and it comes back and it puts you down and you're like losing hope at one point?
One of the biggest culprits will be a tightness around the areas of soft tissues and joint related issues, tightness and stiffness. Am I having to play with it or run with it, or how to be correcting it to prevent injuries? So some of the commonest questions we come across. Does it sound like you? I have adjusted a lot of techniques. I have even went off the training, spoken to my fellow athletes, but still the pain wouldn't go.
I'm constantly in pain, going back to the gym, felt okay the last week, went back today, went back next week, felt pain after every sessions of exercise, feeling a constant nagging ache, and it's putting you down. And you are like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right stuff? Am I doing the stuff that is required? And it's pushing you back. Every time you take a step forward, you're taking a step back as well, which you don't want. You want to progress, and it takes a lot emotionally.
And it may tend to be making you losing the confidence at some point. The injury goes on for 2 weeks, 3 weeks from your peak training blocks, and you feel that you're pushed back and it knocks the confidence significantly. All I get advice from my friends, colleagues, and fellow athletes, and even the healthcare professionals, take rest. Sometimes it can be daunting. It's not only physical, it can be emotional. Are we making this as a habit? A bit of resting it for a longer period of time, taking some ailments which can probably mask the symptoms, but we are not found the complete recovery, or doing exercises which may not be laser focused on the problem and to fix the problem forever. Most of the time, to be honest, I get the answers are yes.
So structured rehab program can reduce your injury risk by 39%, which is through research. Getting help early at the start, when it starts, it always matters. It's key.
Early intervention, you have the fundamental idea to prevent what it can happen. When it comes to the shoulder, even there is no pain, but we have some form of restriction in that range. For example, the good side is touching the opposite shoulder blade, and if the other side is just about 1 inch shorter, but I have no pain, the evidence suggests the 54% chance that people have the same episode again, because that rotation difficulty is linked with the joint capsule, which has been learned to become tight and can lead to have a bit more recurrence of injuries. Active recovery reduces healing time by 33%. 1/3 of your time spent with the inflammatory stage after an injury stage is reduced by doing an active recovery. But active recovery does not mean that you got to go back to do the same thing what you did to bring the problem, but a modification. It's very important. It helps to reduce the inflammation. Inflammation is the first stage of healing. So a lot of blood flow happens, swelling happens. We have the issues that is shutting down because of the injury, and the protective spasm happens, increased blood flow and swelling, and it can just take a bit of a longer time based on the type of injury what you are experiencing. But taking the right note what you do and the first aid measures, and which will reduce it by 1/3, and that's the fascinating way to move from inflammatory stages to the proliferative stage. And then you have a maturation stage, which is the last stage, where you don't have the problem, but you are preventing the problem.